We live in a loud world. Sirens blare, notifications chime, and our own thoughts scream. No wonder we crave quiet, the gentle hum of peace. Enter ASMR, a digital whisperer of serenity. ASMR, or Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, uses soft sounds to trigger tingles, relaxation, even sleep. Imagine the crinkle of a candy wrapper, the scratch of a pen on paper. These mundane noises, amplified and presented just right, become oddly soothing. It's like a sonic security blanket for our brains. The digital age, for all its anxieties, has given us this peculiar form of comfort. But what happens when those comforting sounds turn sinister? When the static isn't calming white noise, but the hiss of a forgotten frequency, hinting at something darker lurking just beyond our perception? Let's rewind to the 1980s. Think grainy VHS tapes, bulky television sets, and that ever-present static on screen when the signal weakened. Back then, technology wasn't seamless. It was a tangible thing, prone to glitches and interference. This era birthed a unique flavor of horror, one that used the limitations of technology to fuel our fears. A flickering television screen wasn't just a technical difficulty, it was a portal to another dimension. A distorted voice on the radio wasn't bad reception, it was a ghost trying to communicate. Analog horror tapped into our primal fear of the unknown, the things lurking just beyond our understanding. It reminded us that technology, for all its wonders, could also be a conduit to something sinister. And sometimes the most terrifying sounds weren't the blood-curdling screams, but the subtle whispers hidden within the static, the ones that sent chills down your spine and made you question your sanity. Picture this, a dusty attic, cobwebs clinging to a forgotten box of belongings. Inside, a single VHS tape, its label scrawled with a chilling title, Whispers from the Void. Intrigued, terrified, you should be both. You pop the tape into an ancient VCR, the machine groaning in protest. The screen flickers to life, filled with static and the faint hum of interference. Then, a voice, distorted and distant, whispers from the speakers. It speaks of a ritual, a gateway to another realm. You try to turn it off, but the machine seems to have a mind of its own. The voice grows louder, more insistent, accompanied by a low, rumbling sound that seems to vibrate your very bones. Suddenly, the screen clears. A figure, shrouded in shadow, stares directly at you. Its eyes, two burning embers in the darkness, seem to pierce your soul. You want to look away, but you're frozen in place, caught in its hypnotic gaze. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the tape ends. Silence descends, heavier than before. You're left with a lingering sense of unease, the feeling that something evil has awakened. The beauty, or rather the terror of analog horror, lies in its ambiguity. The grainy footage, the distorted audio, they leave room for our imaginations to run wild. Is that a ghost flickering in the static, or just a trick of the light? Is that voice a desperate plea for help, or the sinister taunt of a malevolent entity? We become detectives, poring over every frame, every crackle of static, searching for clues to decipher the mystery. But the more we analyze, the deeper we're drawn into the web of paranoia. We start to question what's real and what's simply a product of our own overactive imaginations. Analog horror thrives in the space between what we see and what we believe. It's a chilling reminder that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones we create in our own minds. And let's be honest, who needs high-definition clarity when the grainy, pixelated images of our nightmares are far more effective at keeping us up at night?